Track 21.
Describe the country you would most like to travel to and explain why. Please include specific examples and details in your explanation.
Track 22. Model response.
Personally, if I could travel to any country in the world, I would choose the United States. For one thing, traveling around the United States would be a great opportunity to see all the fascinating sights like the Grand Canyon, the Statue of Liberty, and the Golden Gate Bridge. Also, traveling in the United States would enable me to experience a culture that is very different from my own. The best way to learn about the United States' culture would be by traveling around in the States. In short, I would like to travel in the United States because it would be a great opportunity to see some of the greatest landmarks in the world while exploring the culture of a country other than my own.
Track 23.
Describe how your life will change in 5 years and explain why. Please include specific examples and details in your explanation.
Track 24.
Model response.
In 5 years' time, my life will change dramatically because I will be going to university. To begin with, it will be the first time I will live away from my family. So, I will become more independent and will face many decisions I'll have to make on my own. For example, no one will tell me when to study. Also, in 5 years' time, I will be working a part-time job after school to help pay my personal expenses. In closing, in 5 years, my life will be very different because I will be at university, living on my own and working, all for the first time in my life.
Track 25. Model response.
Describe your favorite food from your native country. Explain why it's your favorite food. Please include specific examples and details in your explanation.
Track 26. Model response.
My favorite food from my country is kimchi. One reason kimchi is my favorite food is because it's highly nutritious. Kimchi has the nutrients and vitamins required to keep me healthy. It's also high in fiber. Another reason I like kimchi is that it's unique to my country. No other country in the world produces real quality kimchi like Korea does. When I think of Korean food, the first thing that comes to mind is kimchi because it's a unique Korean creation. So my favorite food from my country is kimchi because it's nutritious and it's a unique Korean food.
Track 27.
Describe the public transportation system in your country. Include details and examples to support your description.
Track 28.
Model response. In my opinion, the public transportation system in my country, Korea, is very efficient, well-run, and affordable. To begin with, it's efficient and well-run because its buses and subways run frequently. For example, the typical waiting time for a subway train is 5 minutes, and the period spent waiting for a bus is 7. Also, public transportation in Korea is very affordable. As a result, getting around by subway or bus in the city is usually under $2. In short, because the public transportation system in my country is both efficient and affordable, it is the best way to travel.
Track 29.
Choose a subject you would like to learn more about in school and explain why. Please include specific examples and details in your explanation.
Track 30. Model response.
I would like to learn more in school about computer technology. Computer technology is important these days because there are computers everywhere, and the chances of getting a job where I'd be using a computer are high. Also, I find computer technology very interesting, as I've always wanted to know how computers work. It would save me money if my computer broke because I could fix it myself without relying on a repair shop. So if I could learn more about one subject in school, it would definitely be computer technology.
Track 31.
Describe the book that you found the most interesting. Explain why this book was interesting. Include details and examples to support your explanation.
Track 32.
Model response.
The book I found most interesting in my life was Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. First, this book was fascinating to me because it was full of imaginative details, and I learned new things like thinking of something happy when I am upset. Also, the book taught me about courage and not to be afraid of things like goblins and ghosts because they are not real. So, the most interesting book I have ever read was Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone because it taught me many life lessons, such as not being afraid of imaginary creatures like ghosts and goblins.
Track 33.
What was the most enjoyable day in your life? Why is that day significant to you? Include details and examples to support your explanation.
Track 34. Model response.
The most enjoyable day in my life was in middle school when I performed a dance routine in a contest in front of the entire school. To begin with, this was the first time I had ever been up on stage before. For example, while performing, I felt special because all of my classmates and my parents were watching. Also, it was a great day for me because I actually won the dance contest. The judges said I danced better than Britney Spears. In short, the day I performed a dance routine in middle school was the most enjoyable day in my life because I felt special with all my friends and family watching, and I even won the contest.
Track 35.
What is your most important achievement? Explain why you are proud of this achievement. Include details and examples in your explanation.
Track 36.
Model response.
My most important achievement so far has been my acceptance into my school's honor society. First, this was an important achievement in my life because I had to study hard and get top grades in all my classes before I was accepted into the honor society. Not only did I have to get good grades, but I also had to pass a series of interviews with the principal and all of the teachers. The interviews were difficult, but I persevered. So, my most important achievement has been my induction into the honor society at my school.
Track 37.
Describe the most important characteristics of good parents. Explain your reasons. Include details and examples to support your explanation.
Track 38. Model response.
The most important characteristics of good parents are the ability to listen patiently and the ability to teach. First, listening skills are important for parents because they need to listen to and understand their children's concerns in order to help them overcome their problems. Another important characteristic of parents is their ability to teach. Young children should learn how to read and write early in life before they start school. This will help them excel when they enter school. So, listening and the ability to teach are the two most important characteristics of a good parent.
Track 39.
Describe the person who has helped you most to get where you are today. Explain how they helped you. Include details and examples to support your explanation.
Track 40.
Model response.
The person who has helped me the most get to where I am in my life is my older brother. My older brother always helped me with my schoolwork. He made sure I studied hard and got good grades in school. Because of this, I was able to get into a specialized high school. Also, he always helped me make friends and socialize. He taught me to stay away from children who might have a bad influence on me, like smokers and drinkers. In short, my brother has helped me tremendously to get to the place I am today. Track 41.
Where is the best city you visited so far and why? Include details and examples to support your explanation.
Track 42. Model response.
The best city I've ever visited was New York City. I took a trip there with my parents. New York City was incredible because it was so big and full of interesting sights, like the Empire State Building and the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Also, New York was wonderful because the people were very friendly and helpful. I met several people there who I'm still in contact with to this day. New York City is the best city I've ever visited because there were so many interesting places to see, and I met lots of very nice people.
Track 43.
What is your favorite public place to visit? Explain why you like to go there. Include details and examples to support your explanation.
Track 44.
Model response.
My favorite public place to go is the local public library. I like the library because there are so many interesting books to check out and read free of charge. For example, right now I'm reading a book on space travel I borrowed from the local library. Also, I like the library because it's a quiet place to study. Sometimes my home is a little noisy, so it's important to have a quiet area where I can concentrate. In short, the library is my favorite public place to go because it has many interesting books. It's a quiet place where I can go to study. Track 45. Practice 1.
What was a challenging experience you were able to overcome? How did you overcome it? Give specific details and examples to support your explanation.
Track 46. Model response.
I think one of the most challenging experiences I had to overcome was when I went to a new school. The school had many strange rules, there were many different people there, and I missed my friends from my last school a great deal. To begin with, it was hard to adjust to the strange rules at the new school. Because of these new rules, I had to keep an open mind and accept the changes. Secondly, I was surrounded by new, different people. Even though I missed my friends a lot, I realized I could stay in contact with my old friends by email. Because of this, I was able to overcome the challenge of being lonely. At the end of the day, starting at a new school was awfully challenging for me, but I overcame it by being open-minded and friendly and by staying in contact with my old friends.
Track 47. Practice 2.
Describe the attractions in the city you live in. Give specific details and examples to explain your answer.
Track 48.
Model response.
I live in the city of Seoul in Korea. In my opinion, there are many attractions in the city. Seoul is attractive for its areas of historical importance and Lotte World. To begin with, Seoul has 5 grand palaces, which were built by the Joseon dynasty. Gyeongbokgung was the main palace during this period. Sometimes it is called Pukwol. Also, there is Lotte World. It has many attractions such as a shopping center, amusement park, and folk museum. Because of this and many other attractions, people visit in record numbers. In short, the historical importance and current attractions on offer combine to make it a very attractive city.
Track 49. Practice 3.
What is a useful skill that your mother or father has taught you? Describe the skill and explain why it's useful. Please include specific details in your explanation.
Track 50. Model response.
A very useful skill that my mother taught me was how to cook. It is useful because I can make my own food and do not have to rely on others. Also, it helps me to stay healthy because I know exactly what is in the food I eat. Cooking is useful because when I am hungry, I do not have to wait for my mother to cook for me. As long as there are ingredients in the kitchen, I can cook my own meals. For example, sometimes I make scrambled eggs when I get home from school. Also, learning to cook has made me healthier because I know exactly what I am putting into my body. For example, when I fry my eggs, I use low-fat oil that will not make me gain weight.
Track 51. Practice 4.
If you could live in any city in the world, where would it be and why would you choose that city? Please include specific details in your explanation.
Track 52.
Model response.
If I could live in any city in the world, I would choose Seoul. Seoul has developed a reputation for being a remarkably big city with many cultural places, and is noted for being incredibly safe despite its size. Seoul is one of the biggest cities in the world, and more than 10 million people live there. Because of this, there are many opportunities for people to pursue their dreams there. They find the jobs they want in life. In addition, Seoul is quite safe when compared to other large cities around the world. The crime rate, especially for violent crime, is very low. Because of this, one can go outside at night without any fear. At the end of the day, Seoul gives its people a great deal of security while also providing them with lots of opportunities.
Track 53. Practice 5.
Describe your most memorable class from school and explain why it's memorable. Please include specific details in your explanation.
Track 54. Model response.
My most memorable class has to be my second grade elementary class. It was in this class that I met my best friend Richie. We've been best friends ever since. Richie and I weren't the greatest students, and we would sometimes get into a little trouble. After we sat next to each other for the whole year, it was clear we had many of the same interests. We started playing computer games together after school. After a while, our families became close to each other, and we even went on a few trips together. To this day, Richie and I still occasionally talk about our second grade class and remember some of the fun times we had together. So I will never forget my second grade class because that is where I met my best friend.
Track 55. Practice 6.
Choose the most important quality of a good teacher and explain why it's important. Please include specific details in your explanation.
Track 56.
Model response.
I would say the most important quality of a good teacher is kindness. A kind teacher tends to be well liked by the students. Also, kind teachers are more likely to sympathize with their students' difficulties. First, if a teacher is kind, then they will usually be popular. Consequently, it will be easier for the students to learn. If the students have an unkind teacher, they will find it harder to learn. Also, kind teachers will sympathize with their students' problems. In other words, they will show compassion. This also makes it easier for the children to learn their lessons because they will feel supported in their efforts. So in closing, I think kindness is the most important quality of a teacher because this quality makes it far easier for students to learn.
Track 57. Practice 7.
What was the most disappointing moment of your life and why? Give specific details and examples to explain your answer.
Track 58. Model response.
The most disappointing moment of my life was when I lost the Seoul Middle School English debating contest. This moment was very hard for me because I had gotten so close to winning the competition after months of practicing. To begin with, I had spent months practicing and improving my English debating skills for the contest. Because of this, when I lost, it felt as though I'd been wasting my time. Not only this, but it was disappointing for my parents too. They had hoped I would win and make them very proud. Because I lost the contest, I felt like a complete failure. At the end of the day, I know the most important thing is to try your best, but it was still a huge disappointment to lose the contest.
Track 59. Practice 8.
What was the most important decision you have made in your life? Explain why it was important. Please include specific details in your explanation.
Track 60.
Model response.
The most important decision I ever made in my life was to quit playing computer games and study harder. First, I made up my mind to quit playing computer games and spend more time studying and doing my homework. As a result, my grades have improved and my parents are happier with me. Also, I stopped playing computer games, so I spent more time with my family. The time I spent with my family has been really rewarding. For example, my dad taught me how to fish. Now we go fishing almost every weekend. This is why I believe the most important decision in my life has been to play less computer games.